Mike. Let's get this show popping. It felt like that light kind of like I'm like it glowed over me. It was like whoa. I could feel it breathing on me. What's going on, beautiful people? It is Friday. Friday. And we're back. Another beautiful day. Another show. Remember, if you're watching, we are recording live. Well, no, I can't even say that anymore. The show has evolved once again. So this is like a whole different part of the show, I guess. Not really. I don't know. I just can't say that I'm recording for the pod because I'm really not. It's like a little bit of both that I do now. Anyway, it's Friday, so I wanted to keep it light. So nothing too crazy, nothing too heavy. I back to back y'all earlier this week. I don't know. I might come back on Saturday. We might have some more. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. Hey, real fast, stop doing those ugly ass doodles and then trying to tell everybody it's an NFT and it's gonna be worth money. Not every NFT is valued the same. Know the difference between your shitty art and then an NFT. Like an NFT is more than just a stupid doodle. That's how I know most of you idiots don't know what you're talking about. And I'm sorry, I don't even mean to be so aggressive about it, but I'm just tired of having conversations about people that I saw a chick literally. We'll talk about it when we get the show started. Today. We'll get the show started and then we'll talk about today. Mercury's in Gatorade, and that's why this whole week has been the way it's been. I don't know. I really can't make anything of it. And according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, it's not even a thing. If you can't hear the music, it's because you're watching. So if you want to listen to the music, head over to Apple Podcasts, head over to Spotify, head over to Facebook. I believe Facebook is now playing our music. You can now find the Kasabian Lavoe Show on audio only on Facebook. Of course, you can watch the video, but the audio has different things. Nobody knows what that means. Remember, to be a part of the studio audience, you got to head over to YouTube. I don't even know what that means anymore. Subscribe, like. Subscribe. Roy, such a good song. It's like, it wasn't even, it came out of left field when it came out. But it was such a good, it's Kasabian Lavoe Show. What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe, and welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, live from Las Vegas. I'll be your host, Kasabian, with talent on loan from God. It's gonna be another good day. It's Friday. We're gonna keep it short and have some fun with it. I want to maybe come back Saturday. I want to talk about Rob Dyrdek. I think he's been all over podcasts talking, and I think he's like definitely he's got some shit to say, and I want to talk about that and dive into it. Also, something's going on with 6ix9ine and some of his shitty NFTs. So just listen. NFTs are smart contracts that evolve and have residual money behind them, because the creator will continue to receive money from said sale as it moves forward. So NFTs are very, very special and very unique, and they're not just drawings. I saw this person take a picture of themselves and then use an app, like your phone app, to put their face on a wall and make it graffiti. You know how disrespectful that shit is to graffiti artists? Are you crazy? There's some graffiti artists that are making amazing pieces of artwork, and not only are they making amazing pieces of artwork, but those pieces of artwork are real graffiti, not just some stupid fucking $2.99 app. Like, I don't even know how the hell you can make that an NFT. It was trash, and that's all you see. People keep coming up with these ugly ass little but it's like baseball cards. You know what I'm saying? Like, not all baseball cards are the same. Like, you gotta understand the difference between value and just like a hot fad. Nobody's gonna care if you don't have some type of pool behind it or you made something incredible. Like, what's the rarity? Like, who are you and why do you think that you're special? Because that's what NFTs are gonna come to when it breaks down to the artwork. Because unless you're making amazing art, you would have been selling art. You're not people. So come up with something else. Like, we're doing NFTs that we're working on in contracts now because we're making them passes. So I want to have an NFT pass that you could use for shows, merch, special merch drops, and like one-on-one interactive, more of an immersive fan experience using the NFT by having just access to things that other people can't. So it's a lot different than just doing an ugly doodle. And then, understanding how NFTs even work as far as buying and selling and understanding that process, I think has definitely gotten washed because people just keep seeing the money. Just learn and stop with the ugly drawings and shit, please. On today's show, we'll definitely get into some fun stuff because, no, not really. It's just a bunch of stuff. Nothing's really happening. This whole Jake Paul fight thing is going to be great. We're still fighting for my boy, Roel Aguilera, and I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. I think it's Roel. Still, man, the 110 years still sounds crazy. We'll briefly speak about that. We'll be talking about this judge in Lafayette that was caught on tape saying some pretty nasty things about somebody that was trying to rob their house. Dave Ramsey is being sued for running a cult, basically. And I think it's funny because I love Dave Ramsey, but that guy is something special. We'll be talking about Jake Paul and his head injuries and why the hell is there a flight pattern over my house? Now, if you have kids, there was a huge TikTok challenge to do harm to kids' schools. So all the schools were warned about it. So please definitely double check your kids' apps for all these crazy ass things. I'm not saying be completely afraid and fearful every time these things happen, but they do happen. So, keep an eye out for it. It was all over. Like, we thought it was just here where we are, but it ended up being a nationwide scare. On top of, we had other kids in my kid's school getting into some things. Bro, the schools are wild right now. Excuse me. One kid got stabbed. Some other kid was doing, I don't know. It's scary out there. Just pay attention to your kids. Always tell your kids to keep their head on a swivel. It's not a nice place out here. It really isn't. It's just, kids are different now. I don't know. It's like before, like I could tell you why a fight would happen. Like now, I just have no idea why fights happen. So McCarran, well, now it's the Harry Reid Airport, has a ton of flights, and this town is actually known as a flying town. If you don't know Howard Hughes is the developer of Summerlin, which is the biggest, and I can't even think of it right now, master plan community in the world. There it is. Summerlin is the biggest master plan community in the world, and it's probably one of the best. It's probably one of the only neighborhoods that we still have that's new-ish and walkable, kind of. It's not 100% walk. Like, we've lost neighborhoods where we could walk through, and that one's a decent one where we could walk through and you can get to stores and just get around differently, as opposed to the other suburbs in town where, like, for example, like I said, my house is about 7 miles to the nearest store. There's no walking here. To see people walking is very fucking strange. Like, this is nothing but cars, motorcycles, and bikes. He had a huge affinity for planes. So when Howard Hughes developed that area, he wanted that part of Vegas just to fly planes. And they were like, hey, man, you can't do that. We have Nellis Air Force Base out here. We have a lot of things in the air. So when you pick a home out here, sometimes people ask, hey, what's the flight pattern and are we clear? Because one, it's a lot. Like, when I say it's a lot of flights, it's a lot of flights. Like, probably 60 flights fly over my neighborhood right now. So what's basically happening is that we have flights that are heading to different parts of the world, and they need to pick a different trajectory. But instead of them being trolleyed over, which apparently the airport deems, or the Arrow, whoever. This is off the top of my head because I was so mad when I read the damn article. But basically, the FHA or FAA has a problem. The Aviation Association or whatever has a problem with the planes being trolleyed over to a different takeoff, just a different part of the airport that would keep them completely away from us. Instead, what they're doing is that they're flying to the southwest of our town, and then they're flipping a bitch right over us. So not only are they interrupting like a whole part of town that never had planes, but now they're flipping over and then coming back over and just doubling back. So they're low, they're loud, they're annoying. And I know it's a selfless rant, but we can't even do anything about it. Instead of the airport moving them to a different spot just for the convenience of the people that live here, they would rather just fly the planes over our houses. When you spend a lot of money on your house, you don't want to hear fucking planes, traffic, or kids. That's just what it is. This is bullshit, and I hope that we can do something about it, but guess what? Now I gotta move. I can't take it because now there's a helicopter pad right above the house now. Like, literally, we have like I don't know if it's charter helicopters or what, but they're just flying over our property now through the Southwest, and it's really starting to get tiring. So Jake Paul is fighting tomorrow. He's not fighting Tommy Fury. He's actually rematching. Why am I drawing a blank? Like, I got hit in the fucking head. What's that boy's name that he's fighting? Damn. I like him too. Tyrone Woodley. Jake Paul's fighting Tyrone Woodley for the rematch, and I don't know what to think about this fight. Jake said he was talking about his brain injuries. He's already stuttering, memory loss. He's having mood swings. You can tell something's wrong, and he looks like he's on PEDs. So some of the mood swings may be from the PEDs and maybe from the low testosterone or high testosterone or the high estrogen that's making him act like a little bitch. And that's what happens when you're on roids. You know, your chemical imbalances. And he already looked like something was wrong with him, just to be honest with you, the way he moves, the way he talks. I told Mandy, I was like, yo, I think she gets mad that I call her Mandy, but I don't want to call her babe to you guys because that's weird. So I've been practicing calling her Mandy, and it's fucking hard to do it because I'm not used to it. But anyway, I told her something was wrong with that kid when he spoke. He speaks off. Like, he's like, duh, duh, duh. Like, there's something wrong. Like, he been hitting the head too much. You shouldn't be getting hit in the head that much if you're boxing. And the reason why I don't go into combat fighting is because I don't have a good head. If I get popped in the head too many times, I'll be just as bad as him. I feel bad for him, man. I hope he does get help. Like, I like the kid as an entertainer. I think he should stop this boxing shit out. And I think Tyron, honestly, depending on the bag, just knock him out and just be done with it. Be safe, though. Have a good fight. I'm not paying for this one. I didn't care for the last one. I spent my money on that shit. It was a waste. I hope that I hope that this whole thing goes on as long as they can make it go on for and people make money. But coming 2021 or 2022, I don't see anybody caring too much about celebrity boxing. Like, you would have to literally like create a beef. Like, we don't care, bro. Everybody wants to see him get beat up. So until he gets beat up, it won't matter, right? That's just the gist of it. You know what I noticed? That we didn't stream on Twitch for the first time, and it didn't do anything. It didn't do nothing. Portugal made it illegal for your job to contact you after 5 o'clock. They basically feel like, leave us alone. And that's pretty dope. And I turn my shit off anyway. I don't have a regular job, so it's not really one of those things. Kind of clients call you day and night. It's weird that they have to set a law. But I mean, when is overreach from your job? Like, is there a certain time where you wouldn't accept a phone call from your job? Do you feel like they have, stepped over boundaries that maybe you're not 1,000% okay with, especially when it comes to like, hey, can you come in today and work, or we need you to fix something, or you whatever the case is. I don't know. Either way, in Portugal, they're not having it. After 5 o'clock, your job cannot contact you or bother you for nothing or on your days off. That is pretty awesome. What else? Okay, so let's update on Ruel Aguilera. This is the young man that's facing 110 years. He's been charged for 110 years for wrecking his truck in Colorado. Listen, I've looked everywhere. I've had people comment and tell me things. Most of the shit that people saying, I cannot find any evidence of. People are saying he burnt up his brakes. I didn't see any reports that show that. Somebody said he was doing 110 miles an hour. There's no reports that show that. From what I seen, they said it was 70 miles an hour, and he was doing 40 at one point, and it picked up because it was downhill and it's a very sketchy, squirrely road. He is a new driver. That's definitely confirmed, and he was highly unexperienced. Did he do this on purpose? No, and that's the end of it. These laws in Colorado, this is the weird part about being in the United States. Each state has different laws, and that's okay, but this shit don't make sense. And if he was a white kid, they would let this shit go. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. They're treating him as if he did this on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. He literally was doing everything he could to avoid everyone. He just didn't know what he was doing. Is that his fault? Yes. Was it on purpose, though? No. Therefore, I don't see the crime in it. I just feel like it was a shitty attorney that couldn't defend this kid. And when do we hold the company accountable? Why would you even hire him? I was just telling Mandy. Here we go again. I was just telling Mandy about all the truck drivers I see in the South and how, they must love driving in the South on all the flatlands. Because I was just thinking, how hard is it got to be to go over the Colorado with all the snow? Even driving from here to California, sometimes it gets sketchy in a big truck. But if you've ever done any type of delivery, if you ever moved cross country, going over the Colorado is fucking difficult in a car, let alone a truck with, full load with bad brakes. The ramps that he passed by, the kid passed by the ramps. I don't think he did it on purpose. He looked frantic. You could see he looked completely frantic. There was one video of a YouTuber streaming in his car, and you can see him fly by. You can see his face. He's like he was losing his shit. He wasn't on his phone. He wasn't DUI. So how is this illegal? Where did he break a law? As far as I'm concerned, it looks like it was a malfunction in the truck. Yes, he didn't handle it right, which it did cause bodily, harm leading to death. So yeah, he would get a first-degree murder charge. But it's first degree because honestly, that's the charge. But I don't see how he gets time for this. He didn't hurt nobody on purpose. This is an accident. This is a complete accident. You have to show me the malicious, or you have to show me that his intent was to go out and kill people, or that he was intentionally driving that truck reckless to hurt somebody, because that's what they wanted to make it seem like. That wasn't the case. The brakes went out. He did everything he could in his knowledge, which wasn't enough. Because I'm not justifying that he crashed. What I'm just saying is that I don't see how 110 years, rapists get less time. People I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. We can't. There's no Latin lives matter. There's no protest. Spanish people stay quiet when shit like this happens. We don't like to get around the government. Trust me, a lot of Spanish people are conservatives. Less government. We want more freedoms. We just want the ability to make money and take care of ourselves so we don't have to bother y'all. So you won't see a lot of Spanish people protesting. It's not a thing. And when you do, it's a lot of white people involved. Guarantee it. I feel bad for this kid, and I hope we can help him. I really do. I don't find it fair. I just don't find it fair. I'm kind of regretting not doing the Twitch thing. Ugh. What else? Okay, so let's talk about this judge and why I find this to be the funniest shit that I read all week. So, this judge from Lafayette, this is interesting. She wasn't even caught on tape. She was actually caught on a audio of somebody filming a surveillance video. So it's like a Ring camera video that somebody was filming with their phone, and they were rewatching what happened. And as they were watching, she made some very inappropriate comments and has now blamed her medication. I guess. I mean, I'm not 1000%. Okay, Roseanne called a white lady a monkey, and she thought she was white. In reality, they said the lady was half black. I don't even know who the lady is. I really don't know the story, but that's what I heard. I saw the picture of the lady. It looked like a white person to me. Roseanne was on Ambien. Ambient's supposed to make people like hallucinate and do crazy shit. And they always say that people on Ambien, just stay away from the internet, stay away from people, don't touch any heavy machinery because you will do things that you won't remember. You'll completely blank out. The judge isn't in a state of like, you know when you get wisdom teeth pulled and you're like, yeah, I like rainbows, and you're just like talking out your ass and like, I'm gonna, you know, they just all that weird crying voice. You know what I'm talking about. It wasn't like that. She was just sitting there going, look at him, look at the N-word, look at the N-word. We got him like a roach. And it's like, damn, bro, what? And why did y'all post that? You're a judge. This is why I say that everybody should be stress tested to their, I mean, literally to their breaking point. You should be stress tested until you cannot handle it anymore. I think if you have a suspicion of somebody being racist, you need to put them in a room and face them with their racism until they either break and show you that they're racist, or we can get forward and get past it. The way that that judge felt about those people that were breaking into her car, no matter how she described them, was racist. She didn't describe them as bad people because they were bad people. She just went to, oh, they're black, so they're N-words. That's my problem. You're a judge, and you see people, and you automatically assume that they're some type of prejudice, whatever the fuck, in your mind, and you're not going to be a just judge. You're not giving equal. There's a reason why in front of courts, you see the justice lady, she's standing there with her blindfold on and the scale, because they're supposed to not see anything. You're supposed to just prove facts. You got to bring it to the table. So it doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. It doesn't matter if they're black or white. It's just a matter of these are the facts and this is what's going on. That lady's racist. That was it. That lady's racist. She saw them people, said what she said, and then her cop out is, I'm completely traumatized. Let's get to the story from CNN. And that was my version of how it went down, because when I first saw it, I was like, wow, really? Like, you don't even have an excuse for this one. And she should be fired, completely fired, because she's a racist. You shouldn't be a judge if you can't see past skin color. The story comes from CNN. A Louisiana judge, hold on, the screen isn't even paying attention. A Louisiana judge the story is from CNN. A Louisiana judge is on unpaid leave and facing pressure to resign after a home video with racist language suffered. The video appears to show surveillance footage of an outdoor altercation with a burglar suspect being played on a television while people who are not visible view and comment on the footage using racist language, which is weird. It was shared with local media in Lafayette, and now it's being shared across social media. It's worldwide. This lady's out of her mind for what she did. Lafayette PD says Saturday 2 vehicles were burglarized in the driveway of the home. The suspect attempted to flee on foot, but was caught by the victim. And he was caught and held until police came. So the husband was actually pulling up and caught them doing what they were doing. The guy doing what he was doing, chasing down, held him down. He was screaming at him, calling him all types of words too. In the video circulating online, a male voice can be heard saying, and mom's yelling N-word, N-word. With the hard ER, by the way. Then, after what appears to be some jovial banter from a female voice saying, we have a N-word. It's an N-word like a roach, while laughing. That's tough. That's tough. Odin had earlier sent a statement to CNN affiliate KNTC saying she had been given a sedative and had no recollection of the video and the disturbing language used during it. My children and I were the victim of an armed burglary at our home. They broke into your car, not the house. The police were called and the assailants were arrested. The incident shook me to my core and my mental state was fragile. I was a wreck and I'm still unable to sleep. I was given a sedative at the time of the video. I have zero recollection of the video and the disturbing language. So she took a racist pill and just went all racy. She obviously had a case of the I'm a racist piece of shit and got caught up. Let's get her out of here. You need a new job in a warehouse somewhere where nobody can see you anymore. And our last story for today is Mr. Ramsey. Look, Dave Ramsey, I'm a huge fan of Dave Ramsey because I've definitely learned a ton from Dave Ramsey as far as money goes. The problem is it only works when you have money. And his core audience is church-based, which is a genius audience. Like, as a businessman, like, he's basically picked church people with money to help them because they don't know how to work their money. He doesn't believe in debt. I do. I believe in leverage. You have to leverage because I tried his way and it led me to go broke. I'm being completely honest. His way does work if you work a job or you have some type of pipeline that's going to create wealth for a long-term time. Like, it's very difficult to be an entrepreneur or a person that's in the industry that I'm in to try to even attempt the Ramsey way. The amount of money that you want to save to get out of debt, to put yourself in these positions. I mean, you have to have a job that pays $80,000, $90,000 a year. Most people don't. So it doesn't make any sense. But I still appreciate the values that I learned from it. I understand what he's doing as a businessman. So even though I'm not a church person, his audience is right there on him. And it definitely feels culty and it always feels weird. But you know what? Ramsey is a hell of a salesman. And if he wasn't doing this shit with the evangelicals, I think he'd be one of the craziest dudes on Wall Street. He'd be the Grant Cardone of today. Listen, he's built this multi-million-dollar business off of helping people with their money because they're too dumb to figure it out. And he's doing a great job still. But he's under scrutiny. And let me say something real fast about like trajectory for entrepreneurs. I've done this show now for 3 years. No pay. We took sponsorship money because got to pay something. But for the most part, started off with a giant team. It's dwindled down, and you've been able to see the development stages of this show. We've changed multiple times. I mean, from sets to we used to do calls to the different cameras to so many things have changed. For anybody that's starting something new, for anybody that wants to try something new when it comes to anything, social media, a business, a dream, a goal, just start. When you focus on it, and I know it's hard to say, Kasabian, everybody says that shit. I'm going to tell you right now, you can ask my wife, my kids, anybody around me, anybody that knows about this damn show. This shit is all for free until we get some type of deal that puts us in a good spot. And we've been fortunate that we got picked up by Facebook's new creator bonus program, and they're giving us $35,000 a month. It's performance based, but nonetheless, that's the bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't ask for that shit. It came to me. Thankfully. We're still working towards other things. On top of that, working social media, you're trying to figure out where to get your content at. If you're doing something like this, and unfortunately, it seems like everybody has to bring their business to the internet. Find what platform works for you, attack that platform, and just go. Facebook isn't even my strongest platform, but they're offering us this great deal, and we're going to take it. TikTok seems to be where it's at for us right now. Shit, even on YouTube, it's so hard to get up off the ground. Wherever you can create an audience. The bigger that you can create your audience and the more market share you have, you're in the game. And it takes time. Don't do podcasting because you think the bag is here. There's no money. There's no money for this. This shit is just like everything else that comes when it comes to like music, creation. This is just like NFTs. Nobody wants to listen to your shitty podcast. Nobody wants your ugly doodle. I know, it sucks. Nobody wants to listen to my shit either, but I'm not making ugly ass doodles and putting my goofy ass face on a wall. You remember them ugly ass apps that would put like your face on a poster and people were walking by and people thought they were so cool? That shit was so corny. Anyway, back to Dave Ramsey and why he's getting sued. Stories from NBC News. Radio personality Dave Ramsey allegedly fired one of his employees for taking COVID-19 precautions, such as wearing a mask in the office and requesting to work from home, according to a new lawsuit claiming religious discrimination. He allegedly led a cult-like, which is what I've said since day one, a cult-like work environment where COVID-19, wasn't taken seriously, while fear of working in the office due to the virus was branded as weakness of spirit. That's Ramsey for you. God told me that if you don't come to work, it's weakness of spirit, and you need to stand in the front of it because Jesus Christ will help you get through it. Staffers who wore masks at meetings were mocked, according to the complaint. So not only were you not allowed to wear a mask, you basically had to come in there and drink all the Kool-Aid or you got in trouble. This is according to the lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed on Monday. Almos is the person that was hired by Dave Ramsey in 2019. He's a senior video editor for Ramsey's company, and he moved from Los Angeles, California to Williamson County, Tennessee. That was strikes 2 and 3 for Ramsey. He hired somebody from California. Sorry, I don't know if you know this, but they're not like regular people. See, California has very distinct line between regular people and then California people. Gilbert is California people, born and bred California people. Then the normal people are the crazies. Those are the chai latte ones, or the ones that live in the tents that do the drugs. Those are normal in California. Those are the people that say, let's pay crazy taxes. Those are the people that spend $1 million on a 2-bedroom house with 1 bathroom just to live in Hollywood. Those people shouldn't work for nobody. This guy obviously didn't understand that Ramsey was going to work through thick and thin. Now, I don't know exactly what their mandates were in Tennessee to say if this was right or wrong. But if there's a mandate and there's legal ramifications, I believe it would be the city or the state that would have to imply that, not just the person that says, I don't think this is right. Because if it was a suggestion and Ramsey ignored the suggestion, that's not illegal. He's accusing Ramsey's solution of religious discrimination and retaliatory, I swear to God, I can't read. Retaliatory discharge, claiming he was terminated because he refused to adhere to the company's particular religious beliefs and refused to abandon his own on COVID. The lawsuit states that on March 2020, there had been a confirmed case of COVID in the department where Amos worked. The next day, 900 Ramsey employees, including Amos, were expected to attend an on-site all-employee meeting days after Tennessee Governor Bill Lee declared the state of emergency and discouraged events of 250 people or more. That's where, to me, it's wishy-washy. At the meeting, Ramsey announced that Ramsey Solution employees will not be working from home. There's no law that says that he has to allow you to work from home. If the building was safe and they followed whatever protocols their governor was okay with, if occupancy is allowed, occupancy is allowed. The story goes on and the guy starts picking apart Ramsey for what they believe in. Listen, it is what it is. You can have your disbeliefs or beliefs. When you signed up to work for that company, you knew what you signed up for. This is one of those things where you kind of shot yourself in the foot. I don't see what kind of, you have no religion and you want to work for a religious company. Maybe you shouldn't go there. Either way, Ramsey does not run a cult, but he does have a great business and a great business model, and I think it should be looked at and actually just admired. Find an audience, find a base, find what they're missing, and do what you got to do to serve them. My name's Kasabian. Live in the moment, don't live in the past. Be safe.